Hey, what's up?
Hey everyone, my name is Paris Blohm. Thanks for
Good
having me.
morning. Yeah, no worries, man.
So, where are you based? You're in Netherlands?
The Netherlands, yeah, it's raining and it's dark outside. It's evening for me.
Yeah, I'm here in Los Angeles, California. Born and raised.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'd love for you to start. Like maybe you can help guide questions or
Yeah, yeah,
anything.
yeah, I'll definitely will. I'll definitely will. Let's first start because probably most people who will see your name will think about your artist career. Can you tell a bit more about that?
Yeah. So as many of you may know, my name is Paris Blohm. I've been a DJ for the past 15 years of my life professionally. 10. I've toured all over the world, played all the biggest festivals, except I still haven't played the Netherlands, which is ironic, right? Because I was like known for a like progressive house, and
Yeah,
um,
you were
yeah, I
signed with
started
Revealed, right?
was signed with Revealed. Been in the music industry for quite a while. Like I said, toured all over the world. Toured, played EDC, played Electric Zoo, Tomorrow World, all the biggest festivals. And then I kind of stopped wanting to write progressive house music, so I started working in the like behind the scenes, and I started helping develop artists. And so I actually manage Cloud, which is a like a techno robot act out here in
Mm-hmm.
America. So I've
Mm-hmm.
been on the management side recently, and just really been all anything music related. I've been putting my hand in, whether that's in my own personal music, managing
Nice.
artists, or now creating a generative music NFT platform called SoundMint.
Nice. When did you decided to make that shift? Because that's not really clear to me.
Yeah, so I never really went public with going and doing
Mm-hmm.
more management stuff. For me, it's the progressive house was like a bubble that I feel like once you're in there, you couldn't get out. And maybe Hardwell felt the same way. I mean, that's kind of what I assumed. Like he went and he's doing whatever he does, but it's hard for progressive house artists or any artist that's like known for a sound to move out of that sound without
Mm-hmm.
getting their fans like saying things like, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that." And to me, that was a little frustrating as an artist. And so I wanted to help develop other artists while also working on my own art in different ways. So I didn't really make it public because I just wanted to go and work. I work closely with my best friend Andre Benz. He is the founder of Trap Nation, and he
Mm-hmm.
also manages Cloud alongside me. And yeah, it's
Nice.
just being able to do different stuff in music and not be stuck in one particular sound. And that's what
Yeah.
Paris Blohm was like. Paris Blohm was a sound, and it was very for after doing that for like 8 years. For me it was like, all right, I want to do something different.
Yeah. And you never tried to rebrand Paris Blom.
I did. I tried to rebrand it, but the thing is I still didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Mm.
I like melodic progressive house. I really like Eric Prydz. I really like Cassian. I really like that kind of stuff. And eventually, I think you'll hear me releasing more music along that style. I do have like two
Mm-hmm.
records. My more recent ones is Waiting, um, and yeah, that song was more of in that line. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. It's just like I don't know if you make music or if you've been in the music I don't know
Yeah.
your background in that, but it's
I've been releasing on Revealed as well. I've been at the start of Revealed to work together with Hartwell as well. But I decided to quit 8 years ago. Yeah, about 8 years ago. Um, at the height of like I was in the height of that bubble of the progressive bubble. That's when I decided to quit.
yeah. So I was like, I like just got in right as like the bubble was like becoming huge, and
Yeah,
while I do think it was an amazing experience, I'm so happy that it
yeah,
happened and that I was able to travel the world and do the music that like I wanted to at the time. Is that as I was evolving as an artist, my fan base wasn't. They wanted what they wanted, and
yeah,
to me that was
yeah.
really difficult.
It's the
As an
progressive
artist
house army.
to feel that way, right? And
Yeah,
you said your platform is a lot about mental health and whatnot.
yeah.
I think if there's anyone out there listening that's a fan, like they should like really think about the artists and like what they want to do, and not like, obviously you have like an attachment to, you want your artist to be a certain way, but you can't control that. The artist is going to do
No.
what they want, and I think
Yeah.
it's really important to. I mean, in pop music, you never see like them making one style. It's always like they have like an R&B record, then they're going into like house, and then they're doing, it's always the same vocal style, but
Yeah.
they're able to try all these different genres, and that's what's really really fun.
True, but it's hard to rebrand the whole thing. Like Chesto, for example, is one of the guys who did it successfully. Knowing he came from trance and now goes into, well, was into EDM, now into whatever he is, like house, top 40, whatever it is. But it's all successful. So he managed to do a good job in that. But it's hard.
It is
It's
hard.
hard to rebrand. Yeah.
And I like
Listen.
the
Yeah.
rebranding is like a whole nother like you have to rebrand. Like, I don't know, it's so many moving parts as an artist. Like you want to keep your fans, but then you want to create something new. So like I totally understand both sides.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Listen, let's dive into the more recent stuff, which is the NFTs, the sound mint that you have been talking about. Because last year was a crazy year for NFTs. I've been diving into that space as well. That was the first time I got in contact with the whole technology and with, well, at first just the JPEGs that got sold for ridiculous prices, but eventually started to dig deeper and find much more than that. Um, Eventually, also found you a couple of weeks ago, a few months maybe, um, and that's why I wanted to get you into the podcast, because there's not a lot of people in the music industry that are diving into this space and that know what the space is about. To me, NFT technology brings a lot of opportunities for the music industry, and I believe that you are one of the first who are actually doing it, right? Um, I'm also 100% sure that there will be a lot more in the upcoming months, but
Definitely.
I think that's a good sign. Like it will be a healthy competition in there. Can you tell me first why you think NFTs are so big for the music industry?
So music NFTs, as they stand right now, aren't really pushing any sort of boundaries, and I say that lightly. Obviously, I'm not knowledgeable of all the music NFTs that are being out there, but the main platforms right now are basically, taking like the Web 2, and if people out there, if you don't know what Web 2, that's like Spotify, Apple, like that's like what the internet
Yeah,
we know, and then taking
Beatport.
that model into Web 3, and Web 3 is crypto, and trying to use that Web 2 model in Web 3, and it just doesn't make sense
Could you give an
to a lot of
example of
people.
that?
Yeah, to a lot of people, because so to give you an example, people will take a song that is already on Spotify, and then they'll mint it and then sell that for like $10,000, $15,000 to a collector. And now the collector gets the NFT, but the song still lives on Spotify, and anyone can go listen to it. And to me, that model is just a little odd, because unless you're a super super fan and you want to say like I own that NFT for that song, I understand that, but
Hmm.
there's just not that many people who are doing that, right?
Hmm.
So we want to change the model towards creating something completely new for collectors that didn't exist elsewhere in the Web 2 world. And the way we're doing that is we're doing generative music or audiovisual art, just like the Bored Apes where it's generated. You have all these different assets that combine into a unique piece.
Yeah, maybe
We
that's
have that
something
with
you should.
music.
Yeah, maybe that's something you should elaborate, because the whole generative part, I can imagine if someone is completely new within this in this space, generative is weird to them.
No,
Like,
exactly. So
what
it's
does it
very
mean?
simple to explain. So for anyone out there who knows about the Bored Ape, because they're basically mainstream, those apes aren't actually drawn as one. They're drawn as different assets. So the artist drew like 25 different eyes, 25 different hats, or whatever number, like 10 different
Hmm.
background colors, 30 different skin colors, et cetera, et cetera. And they're all separate assets. Now you throw it through an algorithm, and the computer combines all those separate assets. So you'll get like that mad eyes with the silly grin with the pink hat, and then now you have a combination, not because the artist drew that specific combination, but the individual assets that the computer combined to create that image. And so it's uniquely yours as a collector. You know that that's yours because no one else can have that, mad eyes, silly grin, pink cat. Like no one else could
Yeah.
have that because the way the algorithm works. So we applied that same formula and that same focus on music. So the artist provides us like 10 different bass lines, 10 different drums, 15 vocals, 5 percussives, 30 leads, whatever. The number doesn't matter, but that they're giving you a certain amount of um, assets like these leads and drums, etc. And as long as they're all in the same key and BPM, they're all interchangeable. So you can have
Hmm.
like this 4 on the floor kick with this groovy bass line and this vocal that's super airy and this lead that is harmonic, that works harmonically with the bass line because they would have to write it that way. But they're all interchangeable. So you'll get like,
Hmm.
instead of the 4 and 4 bass, now that you could get like the broken beat drum loop with the like trancy bass line. I'm giving you like the most, like, just so people can
Yeah,
understand,
yeah,
but
yeah,
the artist is
sure.
going to have full control of all these different stems. Um, and then the computer takes those stems and combines a unique combination. So for me,
Hmm.
like, my favorite artist is Radiohead, and I would love, like, if Radiohead were to come on SoundMint and was able to collect a unique minute long Radiohead song that's only mine because I have this drum loop, this bass line, this Tom York vocal, like, I would be super stoked. And that's why I created this. And I did want to stem from like the conversation we had earlier about like the artistical freedom of being, you know, this all stemmed from me like being in that bubble and wanting to create, but like I said, I was stuck in this like artistic rut because
Mm.
like I was in that progressive house world and I couldn't do anything else. And like this is like such a cool answer where even if a progressive house artist came, or some artist that was in their bubble, they could create so many different assets that is uniquely them as an artist, and it
Yeah.
would create all these different combinations based off of what the artist created.
And art, the things that are being created, so the NFTs eventually, is it a full song or is it just a loop?
So right now it's just a loop, a 30-second. The first one was, so Cloud was the first artist, because we manage him and it was just easy for us to not get into politics with other artists yet. Proof of concept worked. We sold 5,000 NFTs in six
Nice.
hours. They're all generative. Every single one is unique to the collector. Um, and sorry, I got sidetracked there. What was the question?
Is it like just a sample or like a
Yeah.
loop, or is it also full song?
Sorry. So this one was specifically a 30-second loop, but it could be completely repeated. And
Hmm.
but the next act, which is Cayenne Cruise, they're a minute long and they're so cool. They made like arrangements and they sound like mini songs. They're only a minute long. But now that I've seen how that worked, I believe that like we're going to get to a point where they're all full songs. And this is
Okay.
the beauty of this project is Cloud was the first act, like the proof of concept, right? And
Yeah.
we helped facilitate that, and then every artist that comes on board is going to continue pushing those limits and those boundaries and trying new things that like I didn't think about, or this next artist didn't think about, or the next artist didn't think about. And that's where I think the beauty is going to come into fruition, is we're going
Yeah.
to see so many artists pushing the boundaries of what's capable. And to add on top of that, we just brought on a new CTO, Mike Gow, who he helped develop a lot of like native instrument stuff, and he builds his own VSTs, and he's talking about all these different things that we can apply after the fact. So like maybe in the future we'll be able to take a cloud stem and then remix it with a San Holo stem or a Cayenne, because that stem would be able to be manipulated post processing to like match the key and BPM of another collection, and then we could
Sick.
combine different stems and like create new NFTs based off of the NFTs that are out there. And it's like a limitless collectible from your favorite artist. I mean,
Yeah.
we're definitely thinking of some crazy stuff over here.
Yeah, you mentioned the word collectible a few times now. Like, what's the idea behind that? Because I don't think a lot of people see music necessarily as a collectible.
Yeah, exactly. So you're not; these aren't songs. These aren't like songs that you put on Spotify, or I mean, maybe we'll get to a point where they are songs where you could or you would put it on your SoundCloud or Spotify so you can listen to it and show your friends. I definitely don't see that um, not happening. What I'm saying is that it's a collectible because these are unique pieces from your favorite artist that like pertains to you, and whether you share it or not, it's you're able to collect many of these, and then we're creating utility after the fact. So like to give you an example, we're partnering with metaverse applications where this music NFT is actually, so NFTs, for anyone out there who's very new to NFTs can act, they are a token. It's a token. It's a non-fungible token. So this token is really the actual worth of the NFT. It's not so much the art, and it's not so much the music. That's what's bolstering up you to get this token. But the token, the line of code, is really what you're buying, because that
Yeah.
token is then able to be um, give you access to so many different things in Web3. So yeah, the art and the music is amazing, but that token follows it everywhere it goes. So if you join like this metaverse application that Cloud creates his world in, and it shows that you own that NFT, it sees you own this specific token that gives you access to stuff that Cloud only that will only give to you since you
Yeah.
hold that token. And
Yeah.
there's more things like exclusive merch access or exclusive Discord channels, or there's so many things that are going to come up in the
Yeah.
future. Like we're at the very bare minimum of like what we can do with this token.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what makes it so exciting, you know, like every I believe almost every week there's at least one thing or two things that come on my on my timeline or whatever, and I'm like, what the fuck? That's sick, you know? Like, how does someone come up with that? Like the speed in which this technology evolves is so quick.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is we're developing before the ideas are being created. Um, or actually, sorry, vice versa. We're coming up with the ideas before it's
Hmm.
developed. That's what I meant. Coming up with these ideas before it's being developed, and then we're developing them because we've created the idea. And like, so with the cloud NFT, we're doing all these things that no one has done before, and we can't disclose yet. But we're coming with all these ideas, and then we're getting the developers to create them because it's possible.
Yeah.
And right now, you're seeing a huge movement in the NFT space where like us, like raising millions of dollars off of sales with no real like software yet. We're
Yeah.
crowdfunding the idea of the future. And obviously, there's some bad seeds out there who are like running away with the money and doing nothing. Um, but us in the past, so the sale was 1 month and 1 day ago, and we've already hired 10 people. Where we have we're literally building the website to become a full platform where people can come and build their own music NFTs. We have a huge timeline and roadmap of like what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
And I'm really really excited that we have this community that's supporting us, and it's just a crazy time.
I can imagine. It's a roller coaster. um, what would be your advice to someone, to an artist who just got into this industry or not even knows what the hell this is? You know, like what's an easy way to, yeah, to learn more about NFTs or to experience the power of it?
Yeah, great question. I mean, I we did a we helped Cloud with their with his first NFT back in April. But back then, like we didn't even know what NFTs were. Like we did it with Crypto.com, and we saw an opportunity because everyone was doing NFTs. But like we, as the managers, were like, "What the heck is an NFT? Like, what are we doing?" Like,
Yeah.
didn't even understand. So that's not a great timeline to say like we started in April. Realistically, like I didn't personally understand how Bored Ape worked until September. So that was five
Hmm.
months ago. And once I understood how the Bored Apes generative concept work, like the light bulb went off, and I was like, that needs to be applied to music.
Yeah.
So anyone out there listening, 5 months ago I knew nothing, and 5 months later I'm the CEO of a NFT platform. So you can learn pretty quick. It's just a matter of taking the risk and finding information out, and being really enveloped in the learning process. But for any artist out there who's like not going to become a create a NFT platform and just wants to get involved, the best bet would, like, I always recommend this, at least for the short term. Definitely continue building up your your Web2 presence. Like, you still want to be on Spotify, you still want to be on Instagram, you still want to be building your fan base,
Yeah.
because Web3 is a different fan base. It's not they're not mingling yet. You have a few people who are in between, but really it's like you have this great divide between who's on what.
Yeah.
And I don't want anyone to like just leave their fans behind. What you do is you create new fans within the Web3 space, and the way you do that is at the very least you could release an NFT for free. You can do that on OpenSea. You can mint your own NFTs through like Catalog, which is another music NFT platform, or Audius is a great example. Audius, it doesn't have to be an NFT. It's just a Web3 SoundCloud. So you could take songs that are already on your SoundCloud and Spotify and just put it on Audius. Then that way, people who are already in the space starting to see your name. So that if you gave away a free NFT, and the reason why I'm saying giving away a free NFT is you want someone who gets your art to succeed in some way by collecting it, and that gives them uh, trust in you that you're here for the long term. It's
Yeah.
going to be it's kind of difficult right now to come into the space and just sell an NFT for like $10,000 and expect someone to buy it, right? Like
Yeah.
unless you're a massive artist, that there is that demand. But for an artist who doesn't have a huge demand, you just gotta create trust in the community that's there. If
Yeah.
that makes sense, and that's my
Definitely.
best
Yeah.
advice.
I think. Yeah. Thank you for that. Like, I think what most people don't realize about Web 3.0, which is completely different from the music world that we've lived in the past few years, is that this Web 3.0 environment is much more focused on transparency, honesty. The whole fake it till you make it thing from Web 2.0. I think the music industry was full of people who were there for everything but the music. And in Web 3.0, it just feels different. It's much more long term. It's much more a healthy environment, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely gonna have some people. Like I said, some people do come here like trying to
Sure.
like make a quick dollar. That's what
Yeah.
there's obviously a lot of money in the right corners of the NFT space. Um, but if you do actually care about Web3 and you care about like the future of the art, I do implore your audience and your listeners to just get involved and get into the Discord communities and get your name out like to these people who are looking for that next artist to support. I mean, that's really what it is. It's like supporting your favorite artists. And we're gonna have artists that are Cloud's not the most massive artist, but this collection changed his life. And
Yeah.
he's going to be able to create freely for a long time because of the success of the sale. And
Yeah.
the people who hold these NFTs, they find like a real happiness like knowing that they've given that to an artist while also possibly having their NFT rise in value and being able to create some financial freedom for themselves. So
Yeah.
it's a crazy win-win situation. If both people win, like they truly do, both people win. I mean, the
Yeah.
initial Bored Ape sale, I think it didn't even mint out.
No. No.
Yeah, but they still made like a decent amount of money, right? But now
Yeah.
everyone who held a Bored Ape since then like has made potential $500,000. And
Yeah.
so not only did the Bored Ape team win, but all the people who bought them won as well. And that's
Yeah.
kind of like what we're hoping with the Web3 spaces. If you support an artist early on, they're winning because they need financial freedom to continue creating art. But then so do you because you supported this artist and then it rose in value. And, you know,
Yeah.
um, there is hopefully that continues to happen. I mean, there are some that, they don't rise in value. So I always do advise, buy art that you truly love. Don't buy it like it's too speculative, like where you think it's going to make you $1 million. Just like buy art you love and support your favorite artists. And I
You can
think
never
at
go
some point
wrong.
it's going to come back to you.
Yeah. Beautiful way to end, man. I wanna thank you for your time because I know it's been hectic around you in your schedule. Um, Thanks for doing this. Thanks for giving the people a better understanding of the NFT space and of your company, SoundMint. And best of luck in the future, man. I'm curious to see what's coming up.
Yeah, thank you so much. I do appreciate the time. And, I'm just going to be completely transparent. I'm still learning. Like everyone out there, like
Everyone, yeah.
if you're listening to this in like a year from now and I'm saying like the wrong information, it's because I'm still learning. Like
Yeah,
that's just the truth of it. Just
yeah.
trying my best as like an artist who's become the CEO of a platform. Like it's like crazy. So really, if anyone out there wants to chat, you can always come on our Discord or DM me on Twitter, and try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. And thanks for having me. I do appreciate it. And if you haven't checked out the collection, on OpenSea, it's We Are Cloud with a K.
Okay, yeah, I can put it in the show notes for you.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I
Yeah,
will.
just go and listen to 10 of them, and you'll start to hear how they're different, and then you'll see why they're different because the visuals are attached to different
Yeah,
musical attributes, and it's I'm really excited not only for that project but for all the artists that come on board.
yeah. I'm curious to see what comes up next and what the how the company evolves over time.
Yeah, I mean, so I can announce this. We have Cayenne Cruz and Some Hoodlum next, and then we have San Holo and
Nice.
as the third artist, and we're already talking to a lot of different artists to come on board. And then from there, we're going to create a platform where any music artist out there can come on board and create their own music NFTs.
And do you have like a timeline for that? Like when you expect to have that platform?
Hoping midsummer, maybe late
That's
summer.
quick.
Yeah, I mean we're moving fast. We have to develop the whole platform, but it's and then the social aspect. So instead of like relying on Twitter all the time to message people, you can actually message your favorite artists through there, and it's a
Yeah,
whole other thing.
sick. I'm excited for this year, man. Looking forward. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, and let's stay in touch. Thank you for having me. I
Definitely.
appreciate it.